Frangie here. 1010XL wants to know who you are. We are conducting a listener profile survey. What home improvement practices do you plan to do? What do you like best about us? All you have to do is go to 1010XL.com and fill out the survey. You could win tickets to the Jags home opener, Gator football, and jumbo shrimp tickets, or great 1010 swag. Just go to 1010XL.com and enjoy letting us know more about you so we can do a better job of serving you.
When you want to know what's happening in Gainesville, roll with the Gator Report. I'm Joe C. Listen for updates on Florida Gator athletics several times a week on 1010XL. Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go, Gator!
I'm Alan Tyre with Trust-A-Line Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all the top real estate agents and builders who refer us business every day. Thinking about buying or building a new home? At Trust-A-Line Mortgage, we're here to make the mortgage process simple, clear, and stress-free. That's why First Coast residents have trusted us for more than 37 years. Since 1989, Trust-A-Line Mortgage has been your local mortgage company dedicated to personal service. Real people, real conversations, and real solutions. Whether you're looking for a conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loan, Trust-A-Line Mortgage brings over 4 decades of experience to help you. And did I mention we offer the most competitive jumbo rates in Florida? If you're ready to buy, build, refinance, or simply explore your options, call Trust-A-Line Mortgage today at 904-381-LOAN or visit our website at trustalinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trust-A-Line Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
Looking for the perfect place to entertain clients or reward your employees this football season? River City Railway delivers a one-of-a-kind hospitality experience. Private, full-size rail cars with everything you need. AC, TVs, private bathrooms, outdoor entertaining areas, and reserved parking. All within walking distance to the stadium. Food and open bar included. Give your guests an experience they'll never forget. Visit rivercityrailway.com and reserve your rail car today.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
Joe C. for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
I'm Olivia Brooks with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by JEA. SEC Media Days are happening now, and 1010XL is covering all the college football news from the studio and in Tampa. You'll hear Florida's head coach John Summerall speak tomorrow, along with players Jaden Baugh, Miles Graham, and Vernell Brown III. And remember, you'll hear every game on 1010XL, your home of the Gators. It's 92 degrees at 150. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
I don't have stats to prove this, but it feels like July is a month where there are so many birthdays.
There are.
There are a lot of birthdays,
Like Tony Smith over the weekend, Jeff Lageman, Shad Khan, all of them share a birthday today. Happy Ray and Lane. Yeah, I'm not quite yet, but today's Ray and Lane.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll be over the weekend.
Coach Campbell, Coach Duffner.
Right. Yep, yours is coming up. It feels like a ton of July birthdays.
Yeah, it's a good month. It's a good month. At least the lower half, the Leo half or
there
whatever.
We go.
The Leo half of it.
What is it? Cancer before Leo?
Before,
Cancer before Leo? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I beef with a lot of cancers. Yeah. I do. It's something. I don't know if it's that Sagittarius Cancer. We do not get along very well.
It's a good thing you don't beef with Leos.
Yeah, really.
No, I'd have a problem on this.
Do Leos beef with one another?
I think some Leos beef
really?
with one another.
Well, I guess I can see that. The big personalities.
Yeah. Alpha.
Yeah.
Trying to be alpha sometimes.
I don't know. Am I alpha? I don't think I am.
You are like you like to be in control
no.
for sure.
Yeah, it's not a knock. It's
and I
just
think
your
it's more you're more
personality.
like type A
Organized,
personality,
yeah.
which is a Leo
Yeah.
thing. Like you're not a type A personality, but you are a dominant personality. But
Right, yeah.
Lauren is in the sense of like you do like the structure and control and you like things kind
Like
of
a
like set it.
routine.
Yeah.
So you like astrology?
Yeah, I do love zodiac stuff. Some of my friends
I
are
love
way
it.
deeper into it than I am, but
Yeah.
it's cool sometimes just
Yeah,
to be like, oh,
yeah.
that's kind of accurate.
So what's a Sagittarius?
Very
That's
much
what you said
like,
you are, right?
mhm.
My dad's a Sag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So very like spontaneous, like their freedom, kind of a little bit like too independent at certain times. And
Okay.
that's a lot of the things of a Sagittarius. I'm right on the cusp. So I do have some traits of a Capricorn too, but I
Okay.
still have a lot of Sagittarius in
All
me.
right.
But I was born 3 weeks late. So I originally was supposed to be November 26th and I was born December 20th. But either way, I would have been a Sagittarius. So they were like,
right.
you're going to be a Sagittarius. This is
yeah.
what you are.
Nowadays, they wouldn't let
That
I feel
go that long.
Yeah,
No,
that
right.
happen.
Yeah.
That clock is ticking once the person hits
Yeah.
40 weeks.
I was almost a month old when my mom had me. Like I was huge. My mom was like, "This is a month-year-old,"
A month old.
and my poor mom was
Look
only
at my newborn.
18. Yeah,
You giant-sized teddy bear.
yeah.
Like,
Like
look
look
at
at
this
her.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. I had
Yeah.
forgotten about that. I would have thought that two people could not be married or be in a long-term relationship if they were the same sign. But Brian's a Leo and I'm a
Oh.
Leo, and
Yeah.
so it works.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a lot of same friends actually who share.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
my friends Rachel and Tori, they're both Pisces. My friends Michael and Eric, they're both Pisces. So I see a lot of kind
Yeah.
of ones that
Well,
overlap.
there's
a little
different levels, aren't there?
Yeah.
Different.
And I do think men
things
and women, for
within.
example, are different. Like a man Sagittarius is a little bit different than a woman Sagittarius, and
Uh-huh.
men and women Leos have a little bit different. So it depends. There's also, if you really want to get into it, it's like the moon, the rising, and the like. There's all that different
Uh-huh.
stuff of what time you were born, and it goes more intricate. But we don't have to get into all
You
that.
get it all on this show, man.
I was just about to say,
Talking as-
one thing I didn't have on the bingo card for the show today was talking about all this astrology, but hey, it works. What I have for
You never
y'all
know.
today, I've got, so Nate Davis took the time and he did 50 things to know ahead of the NFL season. So I went through all 50 and I skimmed and picked out the ones I think that matter the most
Mhm.
or are the coolest, so to
Okay.
speak. So I knew that ESPN would be having the Super Bowl for the first time ever. I knew it would be on Valentine's Day. What I didn't realize is it's also President's Day weekend.
Oh yeah,
So
Oh,
for
wow.
people who don't have to work on President's
on-
Day,
yeah, they get the
they
Mondays off.
get
All
the Monday
right.
off. That will not be us or
Yeah.
anyone here at
Yeah, but
1010.
that's
However, that's
great,
awesome
though.
for a lot of
Yeah.
Americans out there.
Very cool.
No
I
doubt.
remember that being talked about. I didn't realize it was this year, but I do remember them talking about if they go to an 18-week schedule,
Mhm.
every year it's going to be that. It's going to be football. Sunday will be before that President's Day. So everyone gets to celebrate or be sad on the Monday, depending on who you
Yeah.
were rooting for on Super Bowl
I mean,
Sunday.
look, you should have the day off after the Super Bowl.
Not us,
I mean,
but yeah.
no, but people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I
know,
would like to also,
So-
personally. But
but some cities do it for their teams, right? Their kids are going to be out of school tomorrow,
Yeah.
you know, because we're in this World Series championship or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And they,
It'll
they'll
need
have,
to-
like,
if we win the Super Bowl, if Jaguars win the Super Bowl, it should be a
Week
holiday.
off,
Like
yeah, Mardi Gras
Duval
for the
Day.
week.
Totally
and it's just
agree.
nobody works.
Yes.
Well, just get to hang out.
the parade will be at that point in time, I suppose, being mapped out. It won't be quite yet.
Yeah.
But it'll be being mapped out. That'll be so exciting.
Mhm.
So
Manifest.
Exactly.
manifest.
The Super Bowl this year, we do also know it's at SoFi Stadium.
Mhm.
What I didn't realize is this is the second time SoFi is having the Super Bowl. The first time that they had the Super Bowl, the Rams beat the Bengals. That makes me a
Wow.
little nervous that the Rams might
Get
win
back.
again at SoFi
Mm.
Stadium.
And we're seeing these things flash up
loaded.
today that it's like Aaron Donald for real may come back.
That's
If that's just, I mean, I don't know. You
Why
already
wouldn't
have
he?
an offense that is almost unstoppable in
Yeah.
the sense of Matthew Stafford had 45 touchdowns last year.
yeah.
So if you can replicate that with that offense, and then now what was some of their issue wasn't even really up front on their defense, but you bulk
secondary.
that defense even more.
Yeah.
They add McDuffie and some other guys in that back end. Like, I don't know how you beat them, honestly.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are absolutely loaded. You know, they've added, and if he comes back, holy cow.
And again, if you're him, why wouldn't you? You're
Yeah.
already in
Yeah,
elite
you're
physical
still whipping
shape.
around.
And they're not going to be
Beat
asking you to
around.
be out there
No, you're gonna
100%
play-
of the time.
Right,
like,
Yeah, a small percentage of the
Yeah.
snaps, and you know you're going to dominate. Like
Yeah.
you did a few years ago.
Yeah.
And you got Myles Garrett.
You saw that
Yeah.
video of him throwing around the 150s, not just benching, but like just taking him from the bench and then standing up with them and then shrugging them. And
Right.
then, these are just fun.
Like me
to
trying
me,
to carry my groceries inside is him doing that.
Yeah, like
in one trip.
Yes.
It's got to be
Yeah,
one
no,
trip.
I'm not going back
I'm
to the
always challenging myself with
this
that
is where
one.
I always say the reusable bags are really helpful for stuff like that. The plastic bags just don't get as much.
Yeah.
And you have to worry about them breaking. But
You gotta
those
double
reusable
bag certain
bags.
things.
Yeah,
that's for
I have a
sure.
giant reusable bag, and the people at the grocery
Yeah.
store are always like, "Thanks for bringing your bag."
You're like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo.
Exactly. I'm a Leo. Therefore, I bring my bag every single time. But yeah, I would imagine Aaron Donald, if he wants to play, will be able to be
Yeah.
out on that
I
field.
hope
this
he
And
year.
that's
does. It'd
just
be
it's
so much
terrifying.
fun.
That's
It'd be fun, too,
Myles
though, to
Garrett and
watch.
Aaron Donald, I do
Oh.
not want to look them.
And the Jags
Yeah.
don't have to play the Rams in the regular season. So if the Jaguars meet with the Rams,
It'll be in
have a
the
date with
Super Bowl.
Rams, it'll be in the Super Bowl, and we'll all be ecstatic.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so another stat. This one I couldn't believe. The Chiefs have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2017.
Wow.
Not a 1,000-yard running back since 2017. The Jaguars have had some teams that are not even that great offensively
still
and have
hit
had
that.
1,000-yard
Yeah.
rushers.
Yeah, that just shows
Yeah.
how much Patrick Mahomes carries that team
Yep.
in certain years and times. And I think they've had also, I think they've had like bad injury luck with a lot of their running backs
trying to
too.
think
Like you'll
back,
have
like
like the
Pacheco,
Pacheco's,
or
for
Pacheco,
the
right?
Hunt
He
for a
probably-
little bit.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Pacheco probably
never-
had over 800 yards, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Right. And probably had total over 1,000 with receiving because he caught
Right.
some out of the backfield. But maybe you're right with Kareem Hunt being the last. Could it be
I don't
him?
remember
He
what
had
year.
935. This is
Pacheco did?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He had 935 in
Yeah.
2023.
Okay.
Well, it all
yeah.
runs through, the man, Mahomie. I'm surprised they don't have more of a running game, but,
Yeah, and it was Kareem Hunt who had
it was. Okay. Wow.
1,327 yards in
Yeah,
2017.
he had a big year that
Yeah.
year. That's right.
Yeah, so I found that interesting. Another one for you. League-wide, there were a record 12 field goals last regular season that covered at least 60 yards. There were 4 in the 20th century.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
that-
shows the world how much it's changed.
That kicking game has, those
Yeah.
guys are good.
I mean, look, back when in the 90s, 50 was, the hard, like,
Right.
but you got to make them, but still, like, you'd always be like, yeah, over 50, 55 was, 60. Like, you weren't even, it was like almost reaching the record, back then.
Mhm.
It's just wild how it's gotten so much,
now
much
we're going to see a
further.
70-yarder this season, whether it's Cam Little, whether it's Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a guy
Yeah.
like that.
it rip.
But an NFL coach in a certain situation, like we saw with the Jaguars last
Mhm.
season, go ahead, try it out.
Yeah.
It's right before the half.
That's what I was about to say,
Yeah.
especially in
Add
those
momentum.
situations
Yeah.
or end of the game. And it's like, okay, well, it's a long shot, but you
Yeah,
make
let's
it.
just see.
Yeah. And I think that too. And that's what we've seen also with the yardage, with how the kickoffs have worked too. There's not much room you have to go, honestly, to get to that point where it's a 70-yard field goal. So you have teams, if you're confident in that leg, which I feel like here you are in the sense of you're not going to do that every time, obviously. But if you're in that situation where there's only a little bit of time until half and you just, hey, get 20 yards and we'll be at the 50
Right.
and then we can figure it out from there. And you have a kicker that you count on being able to do that. I think that, it's a no-brainer because you just throw him out there and
But
hope that he makes it.
think of like the trajectory's got to be high enough to get over the guys.
does.
You know what I mean? Like, because normally when you're that far back, your trajectory's low to high, right? But you got to get it up high quick.
And quick, yeah.
Wonder how they
Have
do
it
that.
sail
I'd
around.
love to see that technique. Like, how do you pop it up so quick? Like, it's got to be like a soccer kick where you hit it on the ball, maybe. You know what I mean? Because think about that. I mean, if I'm a defender, you're going to go for a 70-yarder. You can't jump over,
Right.
But I'm getting my jumpers
Yeah.
up
Oh, yeah,
and seeing
for
if
sure.
we could get in the way.
Right. Like an Eric Armstead,
Yeah, some of those
right.
guys that are
Yeah,
6'6",
yeah,
6'7",
that can
just to
jump,
jump
or
a little
just
bit.
even
Yeah.
jump a little
which I'm
bit,
sure the
yeah.
Jaguars will be practicing that when we're at training camp, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll get to see how Heath Farwell's special teams unit deals with Cam Little trying to go after a 70-yarder.
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
was it that said that he's hit from over 70 in practice? It might have been Heath Farwell in
That
his
said he
most
has, yeah.
recent media
Okay.
availability
Yeah.
towards the end
That's not
of mandatory
surprising.
minicamp. But
Yeah.
that's
Didn't he? I want to say there were reports last year. It was like a 72 or something like that
Yeah.
that he had hit
He's
in
got
one of the
the
practice.
leg. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's all that timing and the snap and where it comes in and you know what I mean, to get it going.
Yeah, because what you don't want is that happening and it does get tipped down, then you fumble, and then it's a touchdown because you're not that far from the end zone on the other side. So you do want it to get it over them for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you got to practice all that. All right, more fun stats to do on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Taking calls and taking names.
I want to know who I'm talking to.
Just don't call him names.
That's enough! Why do you guys keep doing that?
Mike Dempsey.
Buenos tardes.
10 to noon weekdays.
Great glorious day.
On 1010XL.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Frank Frangie here. 0% financing is back at Nimnick Chevrolet, but don't expect it to last. This is one of Chevrolet's most popular offers, and right now qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 60 months on select Chevy Silverado 1500 trucks and Chevy Equinox SUVs. Take it from me, I know it. Nimnick is the best place to get cars and trucks. They treat you right. Visit nimnickchevy.com or head to Nimnick today. Where do you get the best prices and the best financing? That's easy. Nobody but Nimnick.
There's a simpler and easier way to get your construction permits. PermitRockstar.com. PermitRockstar.com has a team of rock stars. Construction rock stars that fight the permit battle for you. The Permit Rockstar platform can virtually automate and submit your permit paperwork, eliminating mistakes. And their private provider can save you weeks on plan reviews and virtual inspections. Get your permits faster. PermitRockstar.com. Stop waiting on permits and get back to building. PermitRockstar.com.
If you only knew what Oh No.
Tell me something I don't know.
Catch the man who knows Jacksonville football. John Osher. Weekdays on 1010XL. Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft.
Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and take $75 off air duct cleaning as well. Hickett here. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Take advantage of the savings.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Tom McManus is here. Taylor Dahl, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders all week, hanging out with us. I'm Lauren Brooks with you, talking some fun NFL stats. We are 50 days away from the first NFL game of the season. That's right. Very close to training camp. That begins a week from tomorrow, but then the regular season does begin 50 days away. So thanks to Nate Davis of USA Today Sports. He went through and put together 50 fun things you need to know before the NFL season begins. And I came out of that with nine fun stats that I picked through. So we've gone through the first 4. Number 5, the Miami Dolphins don't have a quarterback on their roster who's completed 50 passes in a season, nor a wide receiver who's caught 50 balls in a season.
They
not how fun on their... that fact is, but geez.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you're not a fan of them. They also haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. I saw a stat the other day with that. I'm like, that's why. Like, we talk a lot about the Jets, and the Jets are up there too. But the Dolphins, the 25 years, that's a long time.
The Jets have the longest streak right now of,
I want to say, like, not getting to the postseason.
Yeah.
Well, don't they have like $99 million in dead cap money because of Tua? And that like part of I mean, they
might even have more than that.
That might have hurt them a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as going through that whole process, it not working out. It's like when you miss
$179 million.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you miss on a first rounder, your quarterback, it sets you back. You know, when you're all in on the QB and it doesn't work out, and you're like, man, it's not going to work out. I got to let him go. That does set you back a bit.
And that's the total. The Tua alone might have been the 90. Add the other players to it as well.
Yeah, so which means you're not spending a ton.
Right.
In free agency.
You don't have anybody on your roster that's caught 50 passes in a season?
That's crazy.
Not on the roster. I don't mean necessarily the starting 3 or the starting QB, but that is wild.
Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, Malik Washington, Chris Bell, and then all rookies are their guys behind that. Their tight ends, Greg Dulcich and Ben Sims. Like, I mean, that's rough.
Brand new team.
But Devon Achane may be their their biggest pass catcher, honestly.
Yeah.
And then he stayed
for a swing pass.
Yeah, probably wished he had gotten traded to a contender at this point in time.
It's like that meme from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when it's just like him all alone in the house, like, all right, we're just sitting here by ourselves. And I said, I like Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis he's proven his time. Anytime he had to come into the game for Jordan Love, it didn't feel like there was any drop off whatsoever. And that's saying something because people have Jordan Love at the top of all of their rankings and lists all the time. But it's just such a tiny sample size that you have, and so you would think they would have got a veteran guy to come in and be his backup quarterback just in case, like something happens or it doesn't work out, but instead it's Quinn Ewers and Cam Miller and Mark Gronowski, which we talked quite a bit last year, who they just drafted.
First, we always love a QB off the bench that plays great. You know what I mean? That he can throw it, he can run it. Malik Willis can do that, right?
Yeah.
The question is, can he be a starting quarterback week after week after week after week? And they figure him out. If they do, can he beat the game plan? Can he know where he's going to?
And does he have a supporting cast? Because sometimes you can have a decent quarterback that's not getting any help. And I feel for your guy, Jeff.
Might be no.
And they let their a few linemen go too, I believe, in the past couple
defensive
of years.
line
too.
Your boy Jeff Halfley doesn't have a lot to work with.
He is new coach, new GM, new everything. They're gutting it and starting from scratch.
Yeah. And sometimes as a fan, you look and you say, all right, we're not going to win this season. But I like the path that we're on, the trajectory that we're on, right? And so you can look at certain NFL teams that were able to change their trajectory fairly quickly. Yeah. Normally, though, is because of a coach and quarterback.
Well, and a bunch of money. I mean, look. You look at the last year's Super Bowl contenders. They both spent a ton. Number 1 and number 2, I think, as far as spending in the off season. So you got to have a little bit of that. Maybe not everything, but you got to.
The Dolphins don't have a quarterback potentially.
Yeah,
they don't have any money.
Yeah.
So
Right.
They don't have any weapons.
and they
at
don't
this
have any
expe-
weapons
except
besides
Achan.
Achan. Yeah. The original Achan, by the way.
the
Yeah,
OG.
right.
True Achan.
And they did. I mean, when it comes to their line, they have a couple young pieces. They got the Jonah Arizona guy and then Caden Proctor this
Yep,
year.
Caden,
Patrick Paul, I think, is decent. So there's workable pieces on that line, but that I think is what it's going to come down to. You're going to have that line protect Willis pretty well to get this offense going at all. And then who knows? I mean, some of these guys you never know who's going to like burst out into the scene if something goes right with right coaching and whatever. It just doesn't have any names that are very recognizable. So people are like, well, or experience. And that's a lot of it too.
We know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times
absolutely.
the Jags, if you looked at like the trio of wide receivers or the running back, the wide receiver, the tight end, they'd be towards the bottom, like 29th and worse. All right, number 6. This stat shocked me, y'all. The last quarterback drafted number 1 overall, whose head coach was not fired during his rookie season, was Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals, who was drafted in 2020, obviously coming off of winning the national championship in 2019. That's because Cam Ward in 2025, Brian Callahan fired. Caleb Williams, Taylor Weldos, Matt Eberflus fired in 2024. Bryce Young, Frank Reich was fired in 2023. And Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer was fired in 2021. That, I literally was like, that can't be true. Every single number 1 overall pick until, of course, Fernando Mendoza this year, their head coaches have been fired.
Yeah. Well, go
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, think about it. Like, you're getting that quarterback for a reason. And
Right, 'cause
then
they
the
were
brass
terrible.
is sitting there going, okay, do we want that coach developing him or should we cut the cord
we
and
move
bring
along?
somebody
Yeah.
else?
Well, and that's what I think a lot of the problems with the examples of those. The Urban one was a little different because they did go get him that year also, and it just didn't work out. But a lot of the circumstances, like with the Bears fans were already shouting for Eberflus to get fired. But the argument is, well, I didn't have a quarterback. Give me a quarterback and we can win. And so they give them that one more chance, and then you get through the season and you're like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't the quarterback previously. Maybe the coaching really was not working. And so I think multiple examples are in that world, but it is, you're going to a bad team also, and you're putting a lot of pressure when it comes to, so it was Trevor,
Bryce, Caleb, Cam.
So all those guys too were getting thrown into the fire right away too when it comes to just being able to, we talk about Patrick Mahomes being able to sit and develop before he had to do it. Those guys all, I think for the most part, if not all of them, had to start right away, and we're like, hey, here's your team, and it's not a very good team, but figure it out. And that's not really fair. We saw Bryce Young get started, then benched, then go back out, and so he had kind of that back and forth. Trevor obviously got thrown into it. Caleb got thrown into it, and so that's part of it too. Is you're asking these young quarterbacks because they're first overall and they're generational and they're the next elite that they're going to be this immediate savior, and sometimes it just obviously doesn't work that way. But that's crazy.
It's so rude to those guys.
I know.
Like, we're going to bring you in, you're freshly out of college, whether you're 21, 22, 23, somewhere in there, and we're going to rip your head coach that you've now formed this great bond, at least assuming it was a great bond sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's been going, you think about it, like, it's been going on for a long time. Remember? I mean, this is way back in the 70s. Like, Jim Plunkett goes to New England when they were terrible. He'd get the crap kicked out of him. I remember watching just his head be, I mean, that's back when you could smash him right in the face. And then he goes out to Oakland and LA, and wins the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Because at that moment, he is the number 1 QB or top pick, and he's going to a crappy team who can't protect him. Today they protect you a little bit better, obviously, but that's just the nature of it. And you are, whether it's fair or not, you're the QB. You're supposed to overcome everything. I mean, it's not really fair, but in a sense, like, that's why you're the quarterback. Like, we don't have a good running game. Too bad. You got a great arm and you can sling it. So let's start slinging it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the mentality. So, and it is tough, but, hopefully you can build year after year. You add pieces that supports that quarterback. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to reap the benefits. We see it all the time. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. He's been all over the place. Look at Baker. He's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
By the way, those guys, I've been watching quarterback.
Oh, good.
They swear a lot. All of them. They say the F word all the time. I mean, it's really funny because I'm like, I didn't realize they would say it's even not just on the field either. Cam says it all the time. He's like, but on the field, Baker says it. Even Joe.
I can picture Baker.
I was like, Joe.
I knew he dropped some
Joe
F-bombs.
throws the F-bomb.
Flacco, I'm a little shocked. I wouldn't have guessed
like,
Flacco on that.
You guys are all throwing them down.
I think there's people that use that word with or multiple cuss words, but especially the F word, and like it just rolls off their tongue, and it's just the way that they talk, and it doesn't
Welcome
occur
to the
them.
Midwest.
Yeah, it doesn't occur to them that they're even cussing.
But it's not. You add ing if you're doing that. Like it's not just. Like you know,
we
bump,
can't really
yeah,
give good
you know,
examples
like
right now.
bump, yeah, bump, yeah, bump,
Right.
yeah. You know, that's
Right.
other than rolling it off your tongue. Like that was a great game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's ready for the dump button just in case.
Just like ready to dump. I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah, I just think
You know.
certain people cuss a lot,
I
and
know,
certain
I know.
people don't, and
But
you know what I
all
mean.
three
It's
of
just-
them do.
It's very
Yeah.
natural in the Midwest to just like people
Yeah.
just say it and you almost just don't
Totally.
even think about it. A lot of times, like a lot of my family, that was a normal piece of their vocabulary, and you don't even flinch when they would say it sometimes because it's just like, oh, that's how they talk. But going back real quick to the Joe Burrow was the last one that did not get that the rookie coach or the rookie didn't get the coach fired, I guess technically. But also, how much has Joe Burrow saved Zach Taylor too? Because I feel like year after year we have the conversation of like Zach Taylor's on the hot seat, Zach Taylor's on the hot seat, and then Joe either has a really good season or Joe gets hurt. And so it's like then you have the scapegoat of, well, if we had Joe Burrow, we could have possibly went to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl or whatever the case may be. And then when Joe's playing, he plays so well that he's like, okay, well, my side, like the offense is great right now and the offense is thriving. And, you know, some of that also might be that you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. You have a trio of just guys that have saved your career probably through this point in time. But I do think we talk about it opposite in the sense of that player got the coach fired. I think in this circumstance, this player kept Zach Taylor has a job because of Joe Burrow through this period
They
of
must
time.
have a good relationship too, because we saw with Josh Allen when they lost the wild card game. I mean, they won the wild card game. When they lost the game after that, we saw Sean McDermott get fired, and you could kind of read between the lines that there might have been a little
Something
bit of
between him and
tension.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that, you know, at the end of the day, the QB wins. You know,
Yeah.
they're paid a lot more.
Well, yeah,
money
paid a
than
lot
the
more than
coaches.
the coach does.
They are. I mean,
You're
that's
absolutely
just,
right.
you know, that's
Yeah,
just
and
the
in those
economics of it.
circumstances, you used a first overall pick on him too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was shocked that McDermott got fired. I mean, and look, I love Josh Allen. I think he's fantastic, but hit the tight end and he don't get fired. I mean, you win that game if you hit the tight end. I know it's more than that, but you know, if we want to, you know, go, you know, you look at McDermott's record going to the playoff, not just going to the wild card, going to the AFC Champ. Now, granted, they don't win, but okay, well, you didn't win there. Wasn't the coach? Can we miss a guy? He's open, wide open.
You
You're
promote the OC, right? Like Joe Brady was the OC. Now he's going to be the head coach. Can he do everything that Sean McDermott did and get the Bills?
he's like, by the way, you gave me Keon Coleman. Like I didn't want Keon Coleman. You
and
did
they
that.
believe so because of Josh Allen. That's what they believe.
That's absolutely what they believe. Yeah. It is crazy to think like about these four guys, Trevor, Bryce, Caleb, and Cam. And just in general, how much pressure is on a 22-year-old male? They enter the NFL. They have to start right away. The entire franchise is dependent upon their success.
Your coach's job.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also expect them to get up to a podium, never throw anyone under the bus, even when things are going horribly wrong around them. And then
Yeah, I think we
expect them to
should
be
let him
tough,
just be
too.
like Rory.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
I thought more about that today when it comes to like SEC Media Days. Like, let's say I saw where Kirby Smart was asked about Tennessee not being on their schedule. And they were like, oh, so that's a win that you don't have now. And he's like, I didn't say that. You said that. Imagine if he was just like, yeah, we always beat Tennessee.
Yeah,
I
there's
wish
one
we
of
were
our
playing
wins
them
out the
every year."
door.
Yeah. And then he was asked about Lane Kiffin, like, is Lane a troll? And he was like, that's just who
Yeah.
Lane is. But Lane would say that I look like a troll and he's the Adonis of college coaches.
That's funny.
And that they have obviously a good relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine if Kirby Smart or if John Summerall got to the podium tomorrow for him, Kirby for today, and being like, yeah, I don't really like, and then insert coach. Like, I don't really
He
like
actually
Pete
kinda
Golding.
sucks.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't really like him
I'm
at all.
not a fan of his at
Right.
all.
That would be just earth shattering,
Yeah.
honestly.
Mhm.
We do not allow for that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
in golf, it was
Let
kind
it
of
go,
funny
yeah.
for me.
Open,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I've got two more stats for you.
right.
No, that's not true. Three more. Zach Taylor remains the only coach, obviously, that Joe Burrow's ever had. Heading into 2026, Zach Taylor is the only AFC North head coach who's returning. The only one.
Wow.
Ravens,
yeah,
Jesse
right.
Minter, Browns, Todd Monken, and Steelers, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. I remember there were jokes because it was
Wow.
like you could almost like everybody switch, like Mike Tomlin go to the Ravens, Harbaugh go to the Steelers,
Yeah.
and everyone
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
switch
Like
around.
the Spicer Bread
Musical
team.
chairs.
Dak Prescott, who turns 33 next week, he needs just 6 touchdown passes to overtake Tony Romo as the franchise's all-time leader entering his 11th season. He has Tony Romo has 248, so Prescott must have 242. That's a lot of touchdowns.
How many years did Romo play? Do you know?
13, I
13.
think, somewhere around there.
So yeah, more than Dak.
Sound
Yeah,
right?
so he had 13. Let's see.
What do you
Yeah,
got?
13.
Yeah. So like
Granted, he didn't start the first 2 years. He got thrown in, so.
But like Romo, Prescott still only has 2 playoff wins in
Yeah.
his career. So they're similar in that
That's how
regard.
you're measured.
And then finally, there are 64 new offensive and defensive coordinators in the NFL this season. 21 new offensive coordinators, 14 new defensive coordinators. But that doesn't add up to 64, so I don't know how they got that math. But either way, I'm not doing the math, but 21 offensive coordinators.
I know there was 21 offensive because I remember that going over that stat like a month ago because it was like the 21 new offensive coordinators and then it was the ones who like the good offensive, like the teams that were actually good and made the postseason because there were some of those. We talk about some of the things that happened when it, I guess technically, like when you would just upgrade Joe Brady to the head coach, but he's still play calling, but they counted that in the stat, I think, but it's technically not new.
And here it is. There are 64 offensive and defensive coordinators in the NFL.
Okay.
That makes sense, even if some like Grant Udinsky aren't play calling.
Right.
But yeah,
35 are new.
Yes, 35 of the 64, so more than half are new. So that is crazy stuff right
I
there.
wonder
So-
how many is that moving? I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off.
you're
To
good.
move on to head coach. How many is that getting fired because
out the door.
Yeah, you just
the head
gone?
coach got fired, so you also get fired.
Yeah, right.
That is a
Or the head coach fires you because
Yeah.
he's you're like, man, I got to save my own butt. You
Which we
gotta-
know both
you gotta go.
Detroit and Tampa did that.
Yeah,
When it
that's
comes
right.
to head coaches stayed, but the offensive coordinators got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I have all the new ones. I had it earlier, but I think I shut the tab. But either way, it's a lot of
That's a
turnover.
lot, yeah,
And we
heck yeah.
here do not have to have it.
That's
Okay,
right.
here's a couple examples. The Commanders now have a rookie offensive coordinator in David Blah, who is a quarterback in the NFL as recently as 2023. Sean
Yeah, he
Mannion
played
for
for
the
the Bears.
Eagles, a quarterback in the NFL as recently as 2023. There's a couple other ones that have really young offensive coordinators too. So
Yeah,
they're going more of that route
Yeah.
as far as the former quarterback, but who has never called plays before or has never been an offensive coordinator before. But hey, it helped work here last year
That's
with Liam
right.
Cohen,
Yeah.
never having been a head coach before. All right, Tom's take awaits on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Nobody calls a service company hoping to hear they need thousands of dollars in repairs they weren't expecting. At Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, we keep it simple. Find the problem, explain the solution, provide a fair upfront price. No pressure, no scare tactics, no turning a simple service call into a sales presentation. Just honest recommendations and quality work from a local team that's earned the trust of homeowners across Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Doll here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite, created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. The sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist. Available for a limited time only, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
For every special occasion, Kuhn Flowers can deliver a beautiful floral arrangement with a click, a call, or a visit to one of their beautiful showrooms. This is Hacker. When you need to show someone you love that you remembered, think Kuhn Flowers.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You've heard me talk about the Rolex my grandfather gave me for graduating from college, but there's something else you need to know about Rolex watches from an official Rolex jeweler for over 60 years. If you own a Rolex, probably today more than ever before, if you need that Rolex serviced, you should only visit an official Rolex jeweler. In North Florida, there are 4, with Underwood's 3 stores, and Mayors has 1. Anybody else claiming to work on Rolex has no direct access to parts, and the use of non-authentic Rolex parts jeopardizes your Rolex from both an authenticity and a value standpoint. At Underwoods, we have state-of-the-art Rolex repair shops, both designed and outfitted by Rolex and staffed by Rolex watch technicians trained by Rolex. And best of all, our shop is on premise, so your Rolex will never leave Jacksonville, and our Rolex repairs carry a 2-year warranty. At Underwoods, in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops at Ponte Vedra.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done before football season begins. Make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or visit closetsbydesign.com.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters: feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
This is Victor Patel, CEO of North Florida Medical Center. Have you been in an auto accident? Are you feeling pain or stiffness? Our board-certified team has over 15 years' experience helping patients recover through chiropractic care, physical therapy, pain management, primary care, and neurology. Even minor injuries can cause long-term problems if left untreated. Schedule your free consultation today at nfmcjax.com. North Florida Medical Center, bringing the care back to healthcare.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
I don't know who broke up with who, but she's in here chasing tequila with high noon. Don't know.
Taylor Dahl, Topic Manus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders all week long. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Tequila chasing with high noon. That's strong.
Yeah, I like it.
You know,
Not the tequila, but
I just remembered I had some tequila and water this weekend.
I just remembered. Tequila does that.
Instead of my Tito's and water, I went with little Casamigos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I only had like 3 or 4.
You do it with water?
Just water,
Yeah.
yeah. I just figured keep it clean.
Yeah.
Light.
Casamigos, I want to say, was a big sponsor of the World Cup. Like,
Was it?
whenever
That's
you'd watch.
I don't know. Avery got it for me, my oldest. I didn't know which really one to get.
Yeah.
So should we try that? But yeah, it was good. Wasn't too bad.
Do you do you put lime or anything,
No.
or just
No.
Just tequila and water.
Yeah, or Tito's and water. If I
Yeah.
go liquor, I don't drink a lot of liquor, but if I do, yeah. But I might try that
do
a little
that
bit more.
tequila water switch?
I think I better check with
Just be a
Christina,
little
make sure
careful.
everything went okay.
Yeah, like double check you were good.
Double check it was a good boy that night.
All right, time now for Tom's Take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my take today on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon, brought to you by our good friends at Morgan & Morgan. It is centered around Foye Oluokun and Devin Lloyd, because we've been hearing for many years, including recently as well, just that Devin's a liability in pass coverage and et cetera, et cetera. Foye, 11 passes defense. He's one of the better guys. So I just thought I'd do a little digging, just look around and see. Now, look, eye test says Foyer's better in coverage. There's no doubt. Last year, you'll be surprised by the numbers, but last year I'd say that Devin was as good, if not better. It's interesting, though. I do want to say this at the top. Devin Lloyd had 9 picks in his career as a Jaguar. The year he had was year number 2 where he had the cast in his hand and he dropped like 2 or 3. Think about like if he had 12 picks, would we think he's a liability in coverage? You know, that's a lot of interceptions for a middle linebacker,
for sure.
inside backer. Anyway, nonetheless, so I went and looked and I used Pro Football Focus and Pro Football Reference. I thought those were one of those Dempsey on Jaguars Today we talked about. I think he uses PFF. For a lot of people use
I think he's PFF. So
but I did both.
real quick, his rookie season, Devin Lloyd, he had 3 interceptions, 0 his second season. So it must have been his rookie
1 and then 5.
season.
Which, maybe his
Because in his
second one.
third season, he had the 1 interception.
Well, he dropped early in the year. He dropped at least 2. But whatever.
But yeah.
Let's just say he had double digits. Would we even be thinking that he can't cover?
Yeah.
All right. So his first 3 years, his rating against Devin Lloyd, terrible, over 100. So the quarterback's rating go against was over. Gave up a lot of touchdowns. Last year, he flipped it pretty incredibly, if I may. So Pro Football Reference, I'll use them first. Pass coverage rating against last year, Devin Lloyd, 57.1. Foye Oluokun, 91.6. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, when you look at Foye's career, the rating against, his lowest is like 88. So it's not like he's 80s, 90s. Early on, he was 100s, but mostly 80s and 90s for him, which is fine. I just found that very interesting. Pass completion against, they were pretty close. 70% completion for Lloyd, 82.1 for Foye Oluokun.
The higher the number, the worse it
The
is.
worst, meaning, they're completing 80% or
of their
70%.
passes,
So it's close, pretty close. And then I go over to PFF, which is interesting. Now, the coverage snaps are different, like 200 and something differential, right? So Foye had almost 600 coverage snaps last year per PFF. He had a 90.2 passer rating against out of those snaps. Devin Lloyd had 359 coverage snaps, so a considerably lower amount, but only 68.7 passer rating against. This is just last year. I know years before it wasn't as good. And then just real quick, overall grade, we know that Devin, he rated very high. Won't even get into that. Coverage grade, Devin Lloyd's coverage grade per PFF last year was 80.2. It was 4th among 88 linebackers.
Yeah.
His coverage grade, not his overall grade, his coverage grade. And Foye Oluokun's, his coverage grade was 75.7 and 8th. So pretty close. But I don't think, the rhetoric is, he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. I think Devin Lloyd could cover just fine. I think the first 3 years he was confused, and I think they did simplify it, but I don't ever, like I've always said, I never thought it was a physical thing. But again, stats only tell you part of the story. And that's my take today, brought to you by our good friends at Morgan & Morgan. Just pound law on your cell. That's all.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think when you watch, to your point, the eye test, it so sticks in our brain the times that Devin Lloyd was confused that it's hard to escape. Like, I've never once looked on the field and seen Foye not know where to be.
I've seen a couple times him being on, but not like in the norm. Listen, Devin in 2024 gave up 5 touchdowns in the pass game. Whether they're his fault or not, it appeared to be and look like his fault. That's what people remember.
Fans assign blame.
Well, yeah, of course you see it, and if you're around there and he's like throws his hands up like that, damn Lloyd, he could be just be like, damn, where's everybody or whatever. Who knows? What
was
the
that
point
Lloyd covering Devontae Adams? That was like one of the bigger ones that people
was the
criticized.
Big one, right.
Yeah.
Well,
and so those flash out to fans just watching as holy crap, you just got totally burned, and then that attaches.
Didn't, though.
Oh,
Because
I know, but I'm
Right.
saying that's what
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like in that moment, and that's where
Yeah.
the eye test sometimes tricks people in a sense, is because sometimes you don't see everything that is going to happen. A
Right.
casual fan watching, or even just sometimes in a game, like you go back and you rewatch, and you're like, oh, never mind, it wasn't X's fault.
Well,
But once social media catches fire with something,
it's done.
People
and you don't know the
go back.
coverage. Like in cover
Also
2,
true.
you run with the vertical number 2.
Yeah.
It looks like man, but it's not man. I'm just trying to get underneath him, so they got to throw it over now. And I'm expecting the safety to come over and help me.
Yeah.
If they read it correctly.
Now the
So,
next question
anyway.
is: do you have somebody on the roster that can do what Devin Lloyd did against coverage last year, alongside Foye? Because that's what it's going to come down to me this year.
Well,
is
There's a battle in my mind between Ventrell Miller and Branson Combs.
Liam, he singled out Combs' coverage ability in the offseason. I mean, Ventrell can
Ventrell's
cover.
good against the run, maybe not as good at coverage. By the way, Jordan Brooks, one of the linebackers that we talk a lot about, got a 3-year deal today worth $51 million, including $35 million guaranteed. So
not too shabby.
I guess the Dolphins do have at least one good player on their roster.
he's
$17 million per.
A chance there.
From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Pure agave tequila with Sprite Zero is the best. So I know that when you go out, there's not always the option to get a
The
zero
zeros.
sugar, which unfortunately, maybe one day there will be.
It's the best for you, and that's okay.
Going
We
back to
appreciate
our
it.
astrology conversation that I didn't know we were going to have today. If you are into that kind of thing, check out Chinese astrology and check out what kind of animal you fall
Oh,
under.
yeah,
Taylor is a
I
horse.
am a horse.
Tom, you and I are both dogs.
Yeah, right.
I always knew we had that dog in us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they eat dog over there, so I don't know.
Okay. And fast forwarding to another comment. What kind of beer does Tom drink?
All of the beer.
What kind of beer does Tom drink?
No, I don't.
You're not an IPA guy.
No, I'm not. No, I like lagers, so I'll drink I like a Heineken. I like Yingling. I'll do a Yingling.
So Heineken's more Pilsner, right, than lager?
No, it's a lager.
Is it?
Yeah, it's more like I like PBR.
Okay.
Like, if I'm at Pete's, I'm drinking PBR. I just like it. It's nice and cold. I do like a Guinness. I do like a Harp, but thicker kind of. I'm not a big. No disrespect to the domestics. I'm just not a huge. To me, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it feels like I'm not really drinking that much beer. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to say any names because somebody's probably endorsing them. They're like, they're the best. But like I said, everybody's opinion varies,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Of
I
course.
just not that kind of a. I don't like a lighter beer. I like a.
You like
I like
something
some
You want to
oomph.
feel like you're drinking the beer.
I want some oomph in
a
my
little more
beer. Yeah.
flavor, but not the full hoppiness. And yeah,
Correct.
I was thinking that a Heineken's a Pilsner, but yeah, like a pale lager is.
Yeah.
But
I like a pale ale too sometimes, but
Okay.
but it's more lighter.
all right.
Than
I don't
anything.
know if this person's going to drop beer off by any means, but
Come on.
I figured I'd ask. And finally, like you said, everyone has their own opinion. Water and Jack is the best, says this person.
there you
water.
go.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody has their own thing. We won't go down the cold,
You must
buttery
like country
Chardonnays.
music.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's always in country music. Jack.
Absolutely. And then this person, we can do this on the other side. Pull Ventrell's PFF grades. So we can do that and come back with that. You're listening to Helmets and Heels 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and Jags football.
To the 5, into the end zone, touchdown!
Jaguar football lives here. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I'm Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, I know how awful it is to get injured out there, but never due to someone else's negligence like many of you. Tom McManus here. If this speaks to you, check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. How are they the largest? Because all they do is win. That's right, over $30 billion recovered for all their clients. But guess what? They don't get a single dime unless you do. A proven track record with backup. I know it's hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect. Get paid. Dial pound law on your cell or check out forthepeople.com.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today at 904-381-LOAN, TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
What Major League Baseball team has never been to a World Series? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Seattle Mariners, who were founded in 1977, have never been to the World Series.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay. Full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Retired U.S. Navy Commander Chris Valdivia from American Roll-On Roll-Off Carrier. The hardest transition isn't deployment, it's coming home. Be part of the solution at ONU's Mission Possible Gala, October 17th at Sawgrass Marriott. For information and to register, go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
We gave Tom an assignment, a very important assignment, as we went to commercial break, looking up Ventrell Miller's PFF grades. What did you come up with, sir?
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're very good. They're just very, it's a small sample size, I guess. He's not ranked in any of the categories, but his passer rating allowed says 14.6. So if that's true, I mean, that's really
Elite.
good, obviously. They do say 110 coverage snaps, so if he's getting 14.6 on 110, he can cover. I always thought he could cover. I didn't question that. I'm more concerned, can he blitz and beat the back and get to the QB like Devin Lloyd? But I think you could fill that with Dennis Gardeck too. Like I think it come from more than one player. I don't think it's got to come from one.
I will say, because I had Trent send over some of the breakdown too, because obviously they do it where it'll have like total defense, run defense, their tackling grade, their pass rush, and their coverage, and they break those down and then give them a total defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you? Because you had the two overall coverage grades for Foye and Foye and Lloyd last year, right? When you gave over your numbers, you had their total coverage.
Yes. Grade.
PFF grade.
Yes.
So what were Lloyd?
Coverage grade. So the coverage grade was 80.2.
For Lloyd?
For Lloyd, which is fourth. And then
Foyer's was 90-something.
No, Foyer's was 75.7, but eighth.
Okay.
So fourth and eighth.
Yeah, so Ventrell's in his 2 years was it was a 58 and then a 46. So his coverage grade. But he does have a really high run defensive grade. So it does pump up his total defense quite a bit when it comes to that because of what he's able, but it doesn't have his coverage grade very good at all in the 2 seasons.
Yes, overall, it says not enough
limited,
snaps is what it says for the overall grade. So, look, he's got every opportunity to prove that he's the man. I hope he is. I hope because look, they didn't address it. You know, and that means something. Yep. That means that they're counting on Ventrell or Branson Combs to be that guy and fill the void and help everyone forget about Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the case. I think, look, Ventrell, he's fast. He's quick. Again,
he's violent. The problem is he doesn't stay healthy. That's always been the knock.
Yeah, he
he's
likes
not always
to get
available.
after it for sure. He's a hitter. Again, I want to see him blitz and beat the back more than he does, I think. And, you know, can he get off blocks? I think that for Combs, too. Combs struggles to get off blocks, too, at least in a very limited fashion that we saw last year.
Right.
My opinion.
Yeah. By the way, so now that we have teams reporting for NFL training camps, we're getting news as far as out of these camps for player injuries. So yesterday we saw the Seahawks safety Nick Emanwari was going to be placed on PUP, which means he can be activated off of that and play this season. But we're not quite sure what that injury is, and that's leaving people a little confounded because he's been healthy throughout the offseason. And then as far as the Panthers are concerned, this starter cornerback, J.C. Horn, he will be placed on the reserve. No, that's not true. JC Horn, hang on 1 second. JC Horn recently had stitches on his foot. He should be back soon. Taylor Moton, the right tackle. I don't like the way Ian Rappaport phrased this clearly. I take umbrage with that. But Taylor Moton will be placed on the reserve/NFI list. He is dealing with blood clots and will likely miss the start of the season.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, that is really scary. They expect him to be back. When I hear blood clots, I don't think that goes with playing football, but I'm obviously no medical expert here. But anytime I've known people with blood clots, it takes a while for them to even be able to resume normal activity.
Yeah, let alone play a football game. Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah. We got to thin it out and hopefully, get it cleared.
Right. And then typically they'll lose muscle mass because they're not able to do the same kinds of things because you can't.
Yeah.
You physically can't. So, we'll keep you updated, obviously, around the NFL. But
the Eamon Warrior stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't heard all offseason.
Something.
He was perfectly fine through OTAs. And then all of a sudden, before you even get to training camp.
Well, I don't know. Caleb Banks broke his foot the night before the combine. Running or working out or something. Who knows? Maybe he was working out and.
Yeah, and I don't know how Horn ended up having to have stitches. That could be something. I mean,
it doing backflips like Scatterbush.
Well, stitches, I guess, would be more like a Scotty Scheffler injury, like trying to make homemade ravioli and
wine glasses.
Yeah, you cut your foot with a wine glass. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, like I said, we'll keep everyone updated. Taylor's Tangent awaits on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Local and live.
Live?
Because local and live is better.
Oh, right.
1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial pound law.
This is David Lane. You've probably heard me talk about Southeast Orthopedic Specialists by now. Gotta tell you, they're not dragging me in here to do this. I volunteer to share my good experiences. Whatever your level of discomfort is, let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. You'll be glad you did.
I'm David Garrard. If you have an orthopedic problem, take it to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Covering the SEC from the ground up. It's Cash Building Material SEC Media Days.
Let's do it. Come on.
Get to know the players and coaches of the SEC. Installed by Window World up Northeast Florida and Lucas Tree Service on 1010XL.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Weather is as hot as can be, so think ahead. Get your backyard ready for football season with 15% off project. Plus, get an additional in-showroom discount for both flooring and enclosures just for visiting. Maximize your space and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. If you have the space and the idea, call them today. Showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
It's time to get your kid in the game with I-9 Sports. From North Jacksonville to Fleming Island, Neptune Beach to Orange Park. I-9 Sports makes it convenient for you just 1 day per week. Fall and winter registration open right now at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
So I've apparently become the last person in Jacksonville to realize my clothes don't fit. Hey, it's Greg. All week people have been telling me, those pants are too baggy. That shirt is hanging off you. Even my face looks thinner. I'm starting to look like my sons. Which is good news because they're pretty good-looking boys. But then it hit me. These aren't my clothes anymore. They belong to the guy I was 40 pounds ago. Yep, I just crossed that mark before my 57th birthday with Awaken 180. And somewhere along the way, this stopped feeling like a program and it just became how I eat. I'm not fighting cravings all day, guessing on the road, or promising I'll clean it up next month. So now I need a new wardrobe and apparently a new goal. I'm going for another 10. My first grandson arrives later this year, and I want more healthy years with him. Listen, don't wait for the perfect time. I did. Turns out the perfect time was immediately. Start now at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's almost time to kick off the 2026 season at the bank. Whether you want to be at the center of it all as a season ticket member, lock in 3 or more games with a bundle at the bank, or cheer on the Jags at your most anticipated matchup, there's a way for everyone to be a part of the action. Seating is limited, so don't wait. Secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
The Cash Building Material SEC Football Media Days coverage on 1010XL previews the upcoming SEC football season. Listen for interviews of coaches, players, and analysts as they give insight throughout the day on 1010XL 92.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Orlando Magic have released their entire 2026 preseason schedule. They will begin their preseason slate on October 7th against the Memphis Grizzlies beginning at 8 p.m., followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers both on October 11th and the 13th, before closing it out against Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam Adebayo, and the Miami Heat on October 16th. That'll be a 7 p.m. tip-off. Single game tickets for the 2026 preseason are on sale now. Fans can log on to OrlandoMagic.com. Right now, 94 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus fueled.
Be glad you didn't have your headphones in quite yet there, Tom. Jared wants to just wake us up a little bit around the first coast as we're heading into the 3 o'clock hour. He said, wake up, Jacksonville. So there we have it. What are we jamming out to here, Jared?
This is Of Mice and Men.
Okay, there we have it.
I love this band too.
I think my ears are still ringing, but I will survive. All right, let's find out what Taylor's Tangent is about today.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So SEC Media Days are continuing to go on as Matt and Frank have been getting us a lot of good content from down in Tampa. But I saw a stat, or I guess more so just some numbers from last year to now that I felt like were kind of interesting and relevant also in the sense of how much we've been talking about, well, next year's draft. And I feel like last year we were like, well, the 2025 draft is so much better and the quarterbacks are so much better. And then all the quarterbacks you were kind of expecting to be that had down years or bad years or whatever the case may be. And then now we're kind of doing the same thing for this next year. So that's why I was like, it's always a little unpredictable. And that same with the preseason rankings that we've talked about. But it's an account I follow on Twitter called SEC Number Guys, and his numbers guy. And so he focuses on different stats and different things for just the SEC. But he posted this, which I thought was super interesting because he compared the 2025 SEC media QB power rankings to the end of the season and how much each of the quarterbacks that we were talking about this time last year and what they ended with when it comes to those power rankings just the SEC. So the order of the quarterbacks last year, the rankings, it was Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, Garrett Nussmeier, Taylor Green, John Mateer, Arch Manning, Gunnar Stockton, Austin Simmons, Marcel Reed, Ty Simpson, Joey Aguilar, Diego Pavia, Blake Shapen, Bo Pribula, Jackson Arnold, and then Zach Calzada. That was the Kentucky guy. And so they go through each of those. So Lenoris drops 9 spots last year from start to finish. DJ Lagway dropped 10 spots from start to finish. Garrett Nussmeier, 12 spots. Taylor Green, 5. John Mateer, 3. Arch and Gunnar stayed from where they were projected at the beginning of the season. Austin Simmons dropped 11 spots. The quarterback
because he didn't play anymore.
Yeah, that's part of it.
That's why Trinidad
ended up playing over. And then multiple guys who ended up rising in these were Marcel Reed, Ty Simpson, Joey Aguilar, Diego Pavia, and Blake Shapen all moved up spots within the rankings. Bo Pribula stayed the same. Jackson Arnold went down a spot, and Zach Calzado went down a couple spots. So they go. The biggest risers last year were Ty Simpson, Joey Aguilar, Diego Pavia, Marcel Reed. The biggest fallers were Garrett Nussmeier, Austin Simmons, which we just talked about that, DJ Lagway, and Lenora Sellers. But so it's just interesting in that because it shows you how much can change just in one season. When you talk about Lenoris, and Lagway was in that conversation quite a bit last year too, but Lenoris and Nussmeier, those were guys that we were talking really highly of at this point last year, and just the way that the trajectories of those season, and we'll see what happens with a Lenoris, for example. But I think that it's so hard to predict, and that's what the whole thing was like. The media is really bad at predicting how good like the quarterback, predicting success of most things, but especially when you go through those preseason rankings of a team and quarterbacks. And this shows that. I mean, they were wrong on almost every single quarterback other than Arch, Gunner, and Bo Pribula.
Yeah. I mean, they're speculating. You know, they're trying to make educated guesses what they think's going to happen
without going to practices.
Yeah,
That's the
right,
hard
right,
part.
right.
Yeah.
Now you are seeing Lenoris getting some pub again as being a top QB. Maybe he got his game around in the offseason. I didn't watch a lot of South Carolina football, but I know going in, he was one of the big names going in.
He was a Heisman contender, yeah.
And then it didn't go well.
No.
It didn't go well, but maybe
Shane
he
Beamer's
can
on the hot seat. His head
resurrect it up, Maybe he had a good offseason, and because I keep seeing his name, not at the top, but one of the 7-8 guys that people are looking at.
But that's what I want. Like, we have NFL training camps where we have the reporters that the national ones that will go to as many training camp practices as they can and really gain intel. I don't know that we really have that in college football. Like, maybe a Josh Pate is able to get to some fall practices, but there's not a lot of coverage of that type of stuff. I mean, you can follow the individual teams, but there's not somebody that goes out and really contrasts and compares. I mean, even for me going to a couple of Florida practices and Florida State practices, you could at least glean the massive difference there between the head coaching styles and the rosters, the quarterbacks, things like that. But yeah, so I think it's hard, in other words, for media. And it's the same way that we talk about the preseason rankings, whether it's college football or college basketball. It's all educated guesses based off of what happened last year. But now the turnover is so high in all these rosters, they don't know. None of us know.
Well, and that's the problem with the preseason rankings. Like, you're going off what they did last year and what their stars are in recruiting, or portal or what, you know what I mean? You haven't even seen them on the field. You have no idea if they have the chemistry or anything, yet you're going to rank them in certain ways. That's all educated guessing, right? For the most part.
It is. And that's what we talked yesterday, too, about the 6 new SEC head coaches, too. All of those all the quarterbacks that dropped the furthest, or the coaches also that they lost their jobs this season. So you will see that, too. And I'm interested in certain ones like a DJ
Except
Lagway.
Lenoris,
Well, sorry, when I just go through all of the 6 schools that did get a new coach, all dropped their quarterback, dropped within rankings within the season. Not all the ones that dropped lost their coach. But I do think that somebody like a DJ Lagway is going to be interesting because there was all this hype of Lagway and what he can be and his arm and the way he can move when he is asked to use his legs and all of these things. And then how much of that was just Billy Napier? Because, I mean, we spent
a lot.
I know. And we spent a lot of time now crapping on Billy Napier in the sense of like,
today's his birthday, by the way.
Oh, sorry, Billy.
47
for another
Billy.
Leo.
But also DJ wasn't healthy. And so, I mean, Billy, in my opinion, also set him up for failure.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
At that point, if your quarterback's not able to take reps in the spring game, then they probably shouldn't start the season as the starting quarterback.
Well, and then in camp before the season started, we were hearing he's in a boot, and they weren't preparing any other quarterback to come in. And so maybe if you had somebody that could start the season when you're playing a Long Island, have somebody else come in and play that game and make sure DJ Lagway's 100% to start playing. So I do think there were multiple things, but that's one that I am interested. I think Lenoris too, because we have seen a really good football player in Lenoris Sellers in previous years. And so can some of these guys, how much were some affected by coaching that maybe we don't talk about enough? And some of them, I mean, obviously we talk about one of them because Chambliss is going to be playing for Ole Miss already. So that's one of the situations where you saw that quarterback worked. It was just that Lane Kiffin wanted to go to LSU. So that was one of the rare circumstances in this. But the rest, I mean, they have chances to kind of prove that it wasn't me, it was the coach.
Yeah, I mean, look at right here in Jacksonville. Took a coaching change to get Trevor onto a consistent style of play that we all been waiting for him to get to. We believe he's there now, but it took that, Yeah, so I mean, they're not that much younger in college, you know. I mean,
In
you
fact,
could,
some are older in college.
some
than
are.
in the
That's true.
NFL.
That's true. But sometimes it does take that coaching change, or even if it's just a position coach that can get to you, can hone you in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all know how hard that position is. It's hard in college too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it is. There's no doubt. So.
And now you've got guys that don't have another chance in college.
Yeah,
So,
Joey Aguilar.
Yeah.
Correct. He's
No,
like,
right.
hello, everybody
Yeah,
else is getting
Garrett
approved to have
Nussmeier.
another Garrett
Yeah,
Nussmeier.
like, I don't get the
Taylor
chance.
Green, him too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, those guys, they'll never know what it could have been like if they had
with
been,
that new coach or the right coach.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just thought, I thought it was really interesting because we go through, and this is just ACC. I'd love to look at, maybe I can do that for a tangent later in the week, of looking at the Big Ten quarterbacks and those coaches who, maybe new coaches compared to quarterbacks, what the quarterback rankings looked like preseason compared to by the end. Because I'm sure this isn't just an SEC thing. I think this is a college football thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure in every conference you could go through and kind of see the expectations. And some ended up working out. You talk about a Carson Beck, when he ended up, I think, panning out for Miami in that sense. And other players you may go through and be like, no, it didn't work. So I'm not trying to bash the SEC in this sense, just more so college football, how unpredictable it is and hard it is to kind of guess where these teams rank before they even play a snap of football.
Well, the kid from Clemson, Klubnik, right? He was considered.
He was another
him
one
and
up
Sellers
there.
are right up there at the top, and he didn't have a great year.
Right.
And it took Arch a
Got drafted, I
while.
think.
It took Arch half the season
Yeah,
to
it did.
really start
Yeah.
to get going. And everybody was like, oh, this is what we were hyped for. And then you started seeing the moments late in the season where, okay, he's starting to settle down a little bit. The offense, he's running the offense a little bit more efficiently. So now how much more of a step does he take this year?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm excited to see what Chambliss and Lacey can do for Ole Miss. You know, do you think they got a legit shot at, I don't know, winning
the college football playoff again?
Maybe.
Yeah,
You know?
I think so too. I think there'll be a lot of people rooting for that too because of what happened, because of Lane leaving and the way him taking all the players and all of that. I think there's going to be a lot of people kind of rooting for them because they're like, okay, well, you abandoned this. And the whole thing was, well, Lane got them to the college football playoff. So it was Lane Kiffin anyway. So if they repeat that and make another run at it, then I think
Those
you
two
do give a lot
guys
of
are
credit.
so exciting though to watch.
Yeah, the hard part is there are so many teams, not just in the SEC, but teams in the country that feel like they have the path to winning the title, right? Like you look at Georgia. Georgia hasn't won now in a few years. Georgia feels like maybe with Gunnar Stockton playing another really good season.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's kind of flying under the radar in all the quarterback conversations. But you've got obviously a team like Ohio State returning quarterbacks.
USC, you saw some articles on them.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if
Anytime
that's
you've
real
got
or
the
not,
returning
but-
quarterback, Oregon's in that boat too,
So,
where you had a
right,
talented
right.
team. Notre Dame, obviously. Miami has a different quarterback, but Notre Dame returning a quarterback. Like those are the schools that certainly feel like their path to destiny is right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
let's go.
Yeah, time to win.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's give some lunch away.
Yeah, let's do it. We have free lunch to Chick-fil-A, free lunch for two to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A.
All right. I like
All
it.
right.
From Taylor's Tangent to Lauren's Lane, we go. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL.
The quality and standard of your life will not be determined by how well you play football, but by how well you confront adversity. Attitude.
Where attitude is altitude.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday. Protected by Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online, Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
This is Frank Frangie. When you buy tires from Big Chief Tire, the savings don't stop when you leave the store. Every tire purchase includes the Extra Mile program. That means $10 off every oil change, free tire rotations, free tire repairs, air pressure checks, and more. No points to track, no gimmicks, just real value from a family-owned Jacksonville business that's been serving local drivers for generations. Learn more at WeKeepJacksRollin.com.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Hey, so why don't we tee off? Tee it high and let it fly.
He's got a beautiful backswing.
Oh, he got all of that one. Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. Cut a few strokes off your game Saturday mornings at 10 with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL.
Summertime is here, and that means it's grilling season. Now, before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street in Jacksonville. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at the grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Follow Houston's Meats on social for updated weekly specials.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
My mother told me, she said, Andy, you'll be a man soon, so understand me.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders, hanging out with us all week long. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now to head into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Tom, I know you watched Ted Lasso. Taylor, did you watch Ted Lasso?
I did not. No.
Did not. Okay.
No.
So, Tom, you know who Danny Rojas is. Football is life.
Yes, yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the State Farm commercial. Is that the same guy?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. His real name is Cristo Fernandez, and he made his USL debut for El Paso Locomotive just a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
so
really?
he actually plays soccer in real life, or football.
Okay.
He originally was a soccer player in Mexico, and then he had a knee injury, so he switched into acting. And then the last few years decided he wanted to actually play again.
Cool.
And so he signed a deal in May, and then, like I said, just made his debut a couple weeks ago. And he's 35 years old. Unfortunately, when he made his debut, he ended up with a yellow card.
Oh.
So, and his team lost. But
Yeah.
this Saturday night, El Paso Locomotive takes on Sporting Jacks.
All right.
that's cool.
It's not in
Very
Jacksonville,
cool.
though. The game's in El Paso.
In El
So
Paso,
you
okay.
can watch, though. The game kicks off at 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus. So you
Yeah.
can watch the Jacksonville team take on El Paso and potentially see our buddy Cristo Fernandez.
How about that?
I thought that was such
That
a
is so
coincidence.
Cool. And I
That is
told
kinda
you, I
fun.
found out yesterday. Well, I knew he
Yes.
owned a soccer club. I
Right.
didn't know what level.
Yeah.
But my old linebacker mate at BC, he owns the New Mexico team, for the USL team.
Yeah, another USL team. Yeah.
USL soccer team.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of cool, yeah.
So they might have played El Paso
Yeah,
already.
they might have. Yeah.
I saw so during the World Cup coverage, it was like the big. It was like the three people on it, and there was two former soccer players and the lady I can't remember.
Thierry
it was
Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
That one I heard is, which I did not watch Ted Lasso, but somebody in Ted Lasso is like based off of his character, and he's like a really hated.
I told you guys
character.
that.
You told
yes.
us, okay?
Yeah.
Someone else was telling me about it this last weekend
Okay.
too. They mentioned that. I was like, somebody else told me that, and I don't remember who. But I didn't watch Ted Lasso, so I wouldn't know.
I
either way, but-
highly recommend it. Like when I first started watching Frank, and I was on the show obviously with the Frangie show then, but Frank and Hayes had both watched every episode before I started. And so anytime people have already talked about something, in front of me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into it now. I
Yeah.
feel like I already know
Yeah,
some
you
of
told
the
me
things.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I watched the first episode and I was still on the fence. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to commit to one more episode because they literally raved so much about it.
Yeah.
And after the second episode, then I was completely hooked.
Yeah.
And now I would love for them to have another season because they had
You
3.
would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love another
It was
season.
good. I don't think I loved it as much as that, but it was entertaining. Some
Also
of
the
it was
soccer
fun.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
why I think I didn't watch it for so long because I was
Sure.
like, I don't like the sport at all. But now I've learned a
But
little
now
bit
you do,
more.
Taylor.
At least I've started.
Now
And
you
there's
do.
not-
more than it was 2 months ago.
Yeah, and
Be
there's not a
watching Ted tonight.
there's not a ton
No
of
way.
soccer in it. I will say
That's
that.
what-
Like,
yeah,
it's
and I heard
not.
that
It's
too.
much more about the relationships,
Yeah.
and that's the cool
Yeah,
part.
that's fun.
But I will say, like I said,
I do love that
absolutely
actor,
loved
like
it.
the main Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
That he's
Jason
hilarious to me.
Sudeikis,
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
his name was.
Sudeikis.
Yeah. Have you seen the show I Will Find You on Netflix?
Yes. So I
Did you
started
watch
that. I
it?
have 2 episodes left. Don't
Okay,
spoil
I
it.
won't. I won't.
Do not spoil
Never
it.
mind. I won't say a word.
But it is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's-
my type of show.
Yeah, it's kind of a
I need
thriller.
a mystery, thrillers. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
Mhm.
he already said he's one and done for the World Cup.
Yeah, I saw
that
that.
was the.
Oh, that's
This
it.
was the only time he was going to cover it.
Really?
Yeah.
Which
It's
I
a
don't know
long
if
time.
it's.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
don't know
work
if it's
for
the
them.
commitment as
Yeah.
far as having to watch so many games.
Uh-huh.
If it's not really being able to enjoy the World Cup because you're having to work, which I
Yeah.
can understand.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it's a language barrier type thing. Like, there's a lot obviously
Yeah.
that goes into it. But yeah, that was. I forget the name of the character on Ted Lasso that he's named after, but yes, he's 100% like Zoroff or something.
Yeah, I think
It's
someone's, that
somebody
sounds
that's
right.
very selfish in the show for sure. Local golf note: Miles Russell and Tyler Mawiney have locked up spots in the match play in the USGA Junior Amateur up in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Let me look at the actual leaderboard. Here we go. Miles Russell finished today 5 under was his
All
round.
right.
So he is 6
Nice.
under. He is the leader of that golf tournament. And then Tyler Mawiney, Miles Russell, of course, from Jack's Beach. Tyler Mawiney is from Fleming Island. He's a 3 under. So he's
Okay,
tied for
cool.
4th with a couple other guys. But yeah, I thought that was super cool.
That is super cool. And I have some good news for you because
Yes.
somebody said a new Ted Lasso starts next month. and
Excellent.
August 5th, season 4 premieres.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I will not be watching on that day because it's Brian's birthday and he's never seen Ted Lasso, but I will be watching around that. And I had a feeling that it would be coming back because A, it did so well.
Yeah.
But B, we've also been seeing Ted Lasso and
A
other
lot of
characters.
commercials.
Yeah, right.
Everywhere we saw them involved in the World
Yeah.
Cup. And so, yeah, that part does not
I
surprise
saw
me.
there's a recent commercial that I keep seeing of Austin Powers. It's like based off of Austin Powers thing. And I'm like, I wonder if there's a new Austin Powers coming out. And I heard somebody say yes. So there's always those hints. Once you start seeing commercials or something
Oh,
start to
yeah.
resurface,
They're
you know there's a
marketing
new
it.
one coming.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
they're getting you
pitching
ready.
it out there.
That's for sure. The Rays got back to their winning ways last night. They beat the Blue Jays 7-1. But here's a stat that I learned during the broadcast, and Brad and I could not believe this. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has not hit a home run in his home park since August of 2025.
That is crazy.
Unbelievable. And last night, y'all, he hit one, thought it was out, hit
Dropped
the
right
warning
before it.
track,
Ah.
and you could just see
The
him almost
devastation.
like
Wow.
you could. He didn't want to collapse fully because
Yeah.
the game's still going on. But you could just see he thought finally
He
the
was like,
curse
"Here it
was
is.
lifted.
I'm gonna break it."
And yeah, it just was like, man, that sucks for him.
It was like opposite of Angels in the outfield for him.
Yeah, right.
They're like blowing it back in.
Exactly. And then I do have a stat that I wanted to mention. Offensive snaps with a lead. Warren Sharp, this was from last season, of course. Warren Sharp, who covers a ton of NFL stuff and always has great information, he posted, so offensive snaps with a lead in 2025. The team that was the worst, that had the fewest, was the New York Jets. They had 66 offensive snaps with a lead in the entire season last year.
Holy
yeah,
cow.
I'll fast forward. Yeah, especially when I tell you the New England Patriots actually had the most snaps with a lead. Granted, their schedule may be a little easier, factors into that. 578 snaps with a lead is the most.
500
in
more.
comparison to 66 is literally almost nothing. But the reason the stat's super cool is teams that had over 390. The Steelers, the Bears, the Bills, the Packers, the Colts, the Broncos, the Chargers, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Rams, the Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Seattle Seahawks, in addition, of course, to those Patriots. All of them made the postseason. Only one team that had fewer than that made the postseason, but it's because the division that they're in, and that's the Panthers. They only had 178 offensive snaps with a lead last season. Wow. They're the only team, like I said, that's the outlier that made the postseason, but it's because their division just isn't very good.
Yeah. Wow. That's honestly super interesting. I think that when you 66.
66
Jets fans, I'm so sorry to you out there that are Jets fans. That's just
a slap in the face with no interceptions to boot.
That's what I was about to say. You don't even have this defense where you're like, at least there's a defense to cheer for. Yeah, then you get rid of Sauce Gardner and everybody else that you could possibly root for.
Right, and just a few years away, the Jets fans thought that they were, and the organization thought they were a quarterback away. They had such a good defense.
Yeah, and then they got Aaron Rodgers.
Right, they thought all they needed was Aaron, which, by the way, I did see that
he mended with things with his family.
Yeah, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
to see.
whatever. I root for family. Yeah, bonding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but still no pictures of his wife, which is interesting. And then thanks to Ryan O'Halloran, based off of those offensive snaps, he went through and said during the Jaguars' 8-game win streak to wrap up the regular season, they held a halftime lead 6 times. So 6 out of the 8 games, the Jags led at the half. 14-6, 18-3, 28-10, 31-10. 17-10 and 31-7. So obviously a couple of those games were complete clunkers for the opposition. But when was the last time I could tell you the Jaguars had a halftime leads of double digits multiple times? That's like 5 out of the 6 games they had halftime leads of double digits. Again, where were the sacks? I don't know, but
even in the in 2022 season, it was a lot of comebacks. It was a lot of like a big Rayshon Jenkins interception, and like those things kind of sparked some comebacks towards the end. And so to be able, and we talked about that a lot, and you expect that probably even more this year in the sense of starting a little bit faster and holding leads and stuff like that, because there were a few moments this last year where things probably got shaky when they shouldn't have. The Cardinals and Raiders are 2 of the ones that stand out to me. But I do think that I mean, that's the trajectory you want to go on. And when you have an offense that you think, and then now imagine if the defense takes that step too, then that obviously helps, because we talk about the Bills game, for example, when you score, but every time you score, the opposing team scores, you've got some issues there, and it's hard to hold leads at that time.
Yeah, remember,
like, you can't run
was it 24 where like the opening drive against our defense, like for weeks would be like 10 plays, 12 plays, 17 plays. Like Cleveland, touchdown. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah, the broadcasters every week, the national broadcasters would always have that stat in the broadcast, because they obviously are looking at that like, okay, most likely the opposition's going to score when they're playing the Jags.
Well, and then offensively, there were a couple games where it was like Trevor was 2 for 14, 5 yards, and we were like, oh gosh. And then things with the halftime, you'd go and the offense would get going a little bit, but you're like, at some point, you've got to score before halftime, or it's going to catch up to you, and it obviously did.
Yeah. Well, they turned it around last year. You know, getting off.
Starting fast.
Yeah.
That was when we talked about a season of first. We kept obviously bringing that up. And by the way, with training camp beginning next week, I think I'm going to put a moratorium on talking about last season, and especially the loss to the Bills.
That point.
It's just dug.
Turn the page.
Yeah, it's already been, I feel like, dug up enough. But yeah, I do feel like the season of first. The Jaguars went out to the West Coast. They won on the road against the 49ers. The Jaguars, obviously, the takeaways, they went from 9 to 31 or 32, whatever it was. They had the first year head coach, the first year GM. Those were all the first 2. And then, the amount of points they scored, the 8-game win streak. There were so many
running backs
things.
getting receiving touchdowns. Yeah, all of those things. And that's what we talked. We had a long list of boxes that needed to be checked this time last year. And I think they checked a lot of them when it came, especially offensively. Offensively, there were a lot of moments. The drops you want to continue. You want to see that lesson because you still had a lot of those problems early on mainly, but still when you have 21 drops in the first 8 weeks of a season, that usually doesn't transfer to a lot of wins. Luckily, they were still able to win a lot of those football games. But those are some of those next boxes that you want to see checked this year. But it does, good point, Lauren, to the sense of it's time. At some point, you start being like, okay, now what? And how do we improve from where we are right now and not always what happened in January?
Well, think about where they were a year ago today, still exploring, still trying to figure it out. Now they're going in like they've got the foundation.
Yeah.
Now we just got to get back on the horse, make sure we're in great condition, know what we're doing, and stay healthy. We're going to have a great year.
It's like our show.
Totally different.
We were just starting out last year.
We were figuring
now
it
we
out.
just got to stay healthy. By the way, from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Ted Lasso will be coaching a women's team this year. This time on the season.
Okay.
So, yeah,
All
that's
new
very cool.
characters.
And apparently they've already wrapped up filming. So there we go. I'm very excited about it.
Beautiful.
All right. We've got the golden moment awaiting, and also want to let you hear a little bit from Jeff Loggeman, who was on Jaguars Today earlier today. So keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The station that plays big.
Blessed with crazy strength and ridiculous agility.
1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Lennon with AB Signs. If you own a business, your best salesperson never calls in sick, never takes a day off, and works 24 hours a day, it's your sign. From vehicle graphics and fleet branding to storefront signage, banners, and decals, AB Signs helps your business attract attention and build credibility. If you're ready for your business to look more professional and generate more visibility, call Matt at AB Signs. We'll make your business impossible to ignore.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand spun the old-fashioned way, this refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
The birth of a child is a time of joy, but when complications during delivery lead to injury or death, families are left with lifelong problems. If you believe a medical mistake contributed to a birth injury, protect yourself and your family by understanding your legal options. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggets helps families evaluate medical negligence claims. No fees unless you recover damages. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday
is served by
Morgan & Morgan.
You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt-attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys. Skip the disasters that leave your carpets soaked for days and do more harm than good. Keep the mud outside where it belongs, not trapped in your carpets. This month, get 3 rooms of Carpet Zero Resified, starting at just $129. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Zero Res.
I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. We all get distracted when we drive, whether it's from our phones or kids in the backseat bickering. But how we handle these distractions can be a matter of life or death. Before you get on the road for your next road trip, please put your phones on silent and take a mental note to focus on driving.
Paid for by NHTSA.
That shot finds the back of the net, and Sporting Jacks has opened things up.
After a successful debut season, the Sporting Jacks women's team is set to kick off the 2026 season on August 22nd with a home opener against the Tampa Bay Sun. Season tickets are available from as low as $70 for the season. Be there at Hodges Stadium as the women seek to return to the playoffs. For tickets, call 904-863-KICK or go to sportingjacks.com. Come be a part of pro soccer in Jacksonville with Sporting Jacks.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. What is a gemologist?
Frank, that's a good question because gemologist is a generic title that can be used by anyone, whether they have any gemological training or not. There's also a graduate gemologist, which is somebody that's taken the gemology courses of the Gemological Institute of America and received a diploma. Then there's a certified gemologist of the American Gem Society. They've received the graduate gemologist diploma, have worked in the jewelry business for a minimum of 3 years, and are tested by examination once a year to re-win the certified gemologist title. There's one other aspect that certified gemologists have that others might or might not have, and that's the accredited gemological equipment to be able to make the right grading calls on diamonds and other gemstones. At Underwood's, we have an American Gem Society accredited gem laboratory that our certified gemologists work in, assuring you the quality and value you deserve.
That's Underwood's, Florida's longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in San Marco, Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment for today as we continue on notes and nuggets and different information coming out of the SEC Media Days down in Tampa right now. There were some notable rules when it comes to college football, and one of the big conversation points has been that targeting and what targeting looks like for players because previously, if you get that second half targeting, you miss the first half. You have a first half suspension for the following game. So there were some changes this year when it comes to that. That being a part of it, which I'll get to that. Another one they did change, though, is the penalty for offensive pass interference went from 15 to 10 yards now for an OPI. But, yeah, when it comes to those targeting rules, so for a first offense targeting rule, disqualification for the remainder of the game that you are in, but there's no carryover disqualification regardless of when the targeting occurred. The second offense, disqualification for the remainder of the game, disqualification for the first half of the next game, regardless of when it occurred. So if you do it that second time, then you will miss that for that first half of the former game, no matter when it happens. So if it's the first half, the second half, whatever it may be. Third or more offense, disqualification for the remainder of the game, 1 game suspension for the next game regardless of when that targeting has occurred. So they're trying to figure that out. I think they also have to figure out what targeting actually is because there's some calls where I'm like, that was not, and then you feel like they really missed some of them. So that's another thing that I do hope if you're going to change the rules and try and put more focus on fairness, then probably call the right thing too.
I got to give a little credit to our friend Grammage because when we were doing catching up a few years back, he even said it first, then we were talking about got to add inadvertent to some of these penalties, because a lot of those targeting, they don't start off targeting, but it ends up looking like targeting because players move. Yeah. At split seconds.
And the quarterback lowers their head and they get a targeting.
Or they're trying to avoid and they move the same way. Next thing you know, I think there's just got to be, because I don't like, you can, spearing somebody's different than targeting. You know what I mean? I think you could tell a flat out spear. Like you duck your head, you're going for the head, you're aiming for the upper area. Now sometimes you can't. You have to watch it on tape, but sometimes it's inadvertent. Like you're not. It just happened because the play happened. Think about it.
There's two people moving really fast.
You come across the middle, and I'm coming, up on you, and I try to avoid you or at least try to hit you in the shoulder. Then you duck, and next thing I know, I'm hitting you in the face. And I didn't mean to hit you. I wasn't aiming for your face. How can I change my trajectory when, especially if I've left my feet or if, I'm already in the middle of the tackle?
Yeah, there are certain ones that are
to stop yourself.
I would say obvious, clear and obvious, and those are the ones that should be called. And then
agreed.
If both players are obviously meeting at that central location, that central point, then I don't think it's warranted. And by the way, sometimes it should be called on the offensive player.
Yeah, honestly, you see that at times. The way they lower their head into the defensive player.
And then, they're never liable for that, but defensive players only. I saw this also talking about SEC Media Days. Brett McMurphy tweeted, South Carolina's Shane Beamer was asked to talk about their loss to Texas A&M last year. If y'all remember, South Carolina was up 30-3 at the half and lost the game 31-30. And so Shane Beamer's response, can we not talk now? Thank you. I'll take a pass on that one. I don't want to discuss
those moments here. We don't want to rehash that game.
No, it's so frustrating. And I wonder for Shane Beamer, like we were talking about earlier with Lenora Sellers, there's a lot riding on this season. I mean, Billy Napier and DJ Lagway last year proved that you can have a lot riding on a season and it can implode.
Yeah.
And so those two, if they want to, well, Norris won't keep his job. I'm assuming he'll go to the NFL, assuming he plays well. But Shane Beamer needs his quarterback to play at a much higher level than he has before. And then Clark Lee, of course, meeting with media today. I heard Matt Hayes and Frank Frangie earlier talking about it, but Matt was basically like, yeah, Clark Lee didn't even stop by different tables. There was once upon a time where Vanderbilt would have done any and every interview.
To talk to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're like,
we're Vanderbilt. We win now.
Right. I'm a little too good
We're
for
picky now.
Jacksonville. Yeah, I thought that was funny. All right. Earlier today, Jeff Lageman, of course, former Jaguars player and now a color analyst on the broadcast, he was asked about whether or not the Jaguars can become a consistent winner.
Can this football team be a consistent winner? Can it be a team that competes for division titles and winning records on a year in and year out basis? Because that's something that has eluded this franchise for many years. And you hope that Liam Cohn and Tony Boselli and James Gladstone have this organization going on the right path. I believe they do, but until you actually see it and it gets proven, we just don't know.
Well, and I think that's, he's really asking the question, can they become a consistent winner? And I understand the question. We've hashed it out and rehashed it all summer long.
Well, it's on everybody's mind. I mean, Liam said it early in the offseason, about the one-hit wonder, so he's been thinking about it ever since the season ended. That trickles down to everybody else. I'm sure James Gladstone's thinking about it. I'm sure Boselli's thinking about it. I think they're all thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make sure that we get back to where we were last year and then get even better, like be even better? So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's wicked hard, man, especially when you're not under the radar anymore. Everyone knows who you are, what you offer, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. We're going to study all year long. We're going to figure it out, and then we're going to figure out if we can come up with a game plan that messes you up somehow, and then you got to battle that. But they've got, I tell you what they have the right attitude in place. I know exactly what kind of player they want. We do, right? You know it from what Boselli says, for Leah, like James. I confidently can say, and I believe this, that they are not going to enter this year with their heads in the clouds like they have in the past based on what they did the year before. I think Liam's going to bring them down to earth, start from scratch, and make them realize, hey, the only way we get anywhere this year is by earning it. That's the only way. So none of this is just going to happen. None of this, say, we were good last year, we're going to be good this year. None of that crap. We get rid of last year, we're done with last year. We start from scratch this year. And I believe they have the players that'll respond to that. They want that. They're like, and they got a chip. They're like, yeah. And again, these rankings, they don't really mean nothing, but they fit in. And it's great because you're like, hey, you go up, your position coach come up to you, be like, yo, man, you weren't even in the top 10. That's BS. Like, we're going to have to prove these guys wrong. Yes, sir, coach. Yes, we're going to go get them. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. So I think they've got the metal, if you will. I think that's what it takes to build that successful organization. What kind of player, what kind of person, what kind of player, how much do they care? What are they going to do when nobody's looking? Are they going to be ready every Sunday? Are they going to give it to every all that they've got in practice, in games, in the way, all that stuff, and you start over. And I think that's what you have to start with. Does that mean 13 game wins? I don't know what that means, but I know it's a great foundation to start with. You got to stay healthy. You got to get lucky. There's bounces that go your way during the year. Things got to happen for you to be that successful. I think they got the kind of foundation already built. The cement's here. You know what I mean? Now we're just going to make it stronger and stronger. So I think they will be a team that has the opportunity to do that. Look, I'll never forget 2023 going to camp, and it was nauseating. The hype, and it was coming from the team. The team, the marketing, the production, they were all this. You hear the players talking, you hear people talking like, oh, they're going to break all these records. They're going to do all this stuff. And just like, yo, man, take it easy. Like they were 9-8. It was still a great year, and I loved it. They almost went to the AFC Championship game, but they did lose 8 games. Like, relax, And anyway, we know what happened after that. But I don't think this team will be like that. This team will be level-headed, and, hey, we got to get back to work and earn this thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of differences between this team in 2022 and this team in 2017. But I think the biggest thing for me that stands out is you do feel like you have your quarterback, and that's huge. How much do we talk throughout the year of you've got to have the right quarterback, you've got to have the right quarterback, and there's been so many questions of what Trevor Lawrence can be, where his ceiling is, and what your kind of the expectations of that. And for the first time, I feel like even after 2022, there was a lot of hype because he kind of ended the way that he did, but he also threw 4 picks in the Chargers game. He just also let him back. So there were still some hesitations of which Trevor Lawrence are you going to get, and maybe there is still a little bit of that because it was the final 6-7 games that you really saw it this last year. But I think part of that, and a lot of people even nationally are starting to know, is that it just took a little bit to get this offense. Once you really got it, kind of everything settled down, you weren't getting all those pre-snap penalties. Him and Liam Cohen were on the same page. Everything seemed like it was functioning so well. And against good teams, you talk about that Denver game, and that Denver game was one of the ones where I think everybody's eyes opened a little bit, like, oh, this isn't a fluke. Like, you're playing a really good defense, and they're able to do virtually anything they wanted to against Denver that day. And so that is something that I think is such a positive note, because this is the first time I think we're entering this season where it's like, yeah, Trevor's the guy, and he can lead this team, and he could fully take this offense into the year and say, this is my offense. And I think part of that is Liam Cohen, too. Liam Cohen's been like, let's make this something that you are absolutely comfortable in being able to run this offense. And there was a little bit of discomfort in the beginning because he had to kind of learn the way that Liam likes his offenses ran and all the mechanical stuff and that. But now you're going into a season where you're like, yeah, you have your quarterback. Just do what you did for the final 5 games.
He broke the bad habits.
Yeah.
Now, the reality is on the wild card game, a couple came back. So he's got to get rid of those from the beginning, and I think they will. But that's what happened, right? He broke all those bad habits that were plaguing him to not be consistent. We all know about the splash and all that. I mean, the kid's got all the tools in the world, but to play that consistent high-level football, that's when he broke all the bad habits. He got all the pre-snap down. He knew all the auto. You know what I mean? You could tell a difference in his game. So look, I'm expecting him to, start off where he left off, and win this. This division. And, although I didn't have them winning the division, just because I think Houston's going to be a phenomenal team, and we'll go toe-to-toe, and we'll split with them. So we'll meet them in the playoffs maybe or something like that. Maybe we win the division. That'd be even better, no question about it. But I expect Trevor to hey, man, he's got the offense. they're going to coach him hard still, and all of them need that hard coaching. It's good for him. And they're also going to show him a bunch of love, too. So
that's a huge difference.
It'll be good.
The attitude
absolutely.
around the building, for sure.
No
All right, one segment to go. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
ET here for Encore Research. And this summer, discover the power of research. Clinical studies are helping researchers find better ways to prevent, diagnose, and treat disease. And community members like you make it all possible. Your participation could help drive the next generation of healthcare discoveries. Find out how you can make a difference at EncoreDocs.com. Research moves forward because of volunteers like you. Let's build a healthier Jacksonville together.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done before football season begins. Make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days, designed around your lifestyle and budget. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation. Or go online, closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's New York Pizza. If dinner seems expensive, come grab a pizza that's hot, fresh, and affordable. Feed the whole family without spending a ton. Tony D's New York Pizza. Easy, quick, and always a good call.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Summertime is here, and that means it's grilling season. Now, before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street in Jacksonville. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at the grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Follow Houston's Meats on social for updated weekly specials.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Turn up the shine with the Gate Express Car Wash Sizzlin' Summer Sale. Buy one graphene wash and get a second one for just $10. That's a $20 savings. Visit your nearest Gate Express Car Wash today.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Looks like we're making up for lost time.
All right, let's head down to Tampa and say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Franco, Red and Black Day, as you chatted with Kirby Smart and Gunnar Stockton. How were they?
Yeah, they were good. They're always good, and I can tell you they're ready to go too, Lauren. You can tell they don't want to say this, but there's a little bit of chip on their shoulder. It's been God forbid they didn't win the national title the last couple of years. It's been an amazing run. Kirby Smart's always so good. And Gunnar Stockton's one of the great stories. And I asked him about this and asked Kirby about this. We're in a world where everybody transfers in a senior quarterback these days, but Georgia develops their quarterbacks. And so we talked about that, but I think it's the best program in college football right now. It's what Alabama was. It's what Florida was. It's what FSU was. And Georgia is it now, and you'll hear from the principals. They made the rounds, and everybody wanted to hear from them. I can promise you that.
Well, you know you've arrived when it's a down year after you win the SEC championship but not the national title.
It's really amazing when you look at what Kirby Smart has done since getting that job in 2017. I think they were 8-5 his first year, and then the COVID year when people only played 10 games, they were 8-2. Lauren, I think they were a minimum of 11 wins his other 10 years. it's amazing stuff. The 14 wins, 15 wins, 13 wins in an era where there's supposed to be more parity than there's ever been. Indiana just won the thing. So honest to God, it's amazing what Georgia's done. So Georgia, he was here today. The Georgia folks were here. A really fun interview with Marty Smith. He does Marty. Obviously, they do the podcast. He and Ryan McGee, Marty and McGee do a podcast. He's a real genuine guy. He's with us today. Greg Sankey has some really important things to say about the future of college football. He's with us today. So we got a lot of fun stuff today. Matt will join me for a little bit as well. Another very good day here at the SEC Media Days.
And then tomorrow we can put on the orange and blue pom-poms.
Yeah, all the Gators will be here. John Sumrall will be on the show. Miles Graham will be on the show. Vernell Brown will be on the show. Jaden Ball will be on the show. That we've confirmed them all, and a whole bunch of other guys. Yes, we've waited long enough, right, Lauren? It's time to talk Gators tomorrow, but Bulldogs today.
Frank, when coming from the Gator in you, does it bother you a little bit that you like Kirby so much?
Yeah, it's funny you said that. It's funny you said that, Taylor. We've all said that. He's a really good dude, but he keeps kicking our ass. That's the problem. Okay, but no, he is no. I used to say, Taylor, I used to say that about Bobby Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Bowden was one of my favorite people I've ever covered. I got to know him. We got to be friends. And I even told him one time, y'all beat the Gators too much. He said, well, that's not my job. That's my job. So, but yeah, I really like Kirby Smart. I've always liked him. I've gotten to know him really well. I think he's the best coach in college football right now. And frankly, if they win another one, he'll be one of the best college coaches of all time. So Georgia here today. A lot of other fun stuff, and, of course, Florida tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Frank.
All right, thank you,
Y'all
guys.
doing a great
See you,
job.
Frank.
We'll be listening for sure. Yeah, tomorrow will be fun, obviously, for that Florida contingent. Georgia, there's not a whole lot to say, right? Like, they just want to get on the field, be the most physical team, bloody you to death, and then get out of whether it's at home, between the hedges or on the road with a win. That's really all Georgia's there to do.
Yeah.
Florida with a new coach and obviously a quarterback competition. There's a lot more.
Yeah, setting a culture.
Exactly, setting a culture. There's a lot more going on. And we just, spent minutes talking about Liam Cohen and the culture he's created and the expectations for year 2. Liam Cohen and John Sumrall are friends. Liam Cohen's been down to Gainesville to talk to John Sumrall's team.
Yeah.
And so hopefully there's some of that influence there in Gainesville
You
as
can
well.
flip it around in a year.
You absolutely can. We've seen it in college football happen overnight. Well, maybe not overnight. Kurt Signetti did it in a couple years. Yeah, but other programs can go from a bottom feeder program to a much better team. I mean, there was a little while that PJ Fleck was all the rage, rowed the boat at Minnesota, right? And he was the next hot name. Or Matt Campbell at Iowa State. And then, we've seen James Franklin at Penn State, and it went the opposite way. But now Virginia Tech has such high expectations because he's there. Like, it's so dependent upon the coach that you have in college football. So it'll be fun, to listen in tomorrow to all those interviews. But that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice, filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show, live from Tampa for SEC Media Days, is next.
Boots are gonna walk all over you.